Hey everyone, welcome to today's Program Yourself Thin podcast. Today we're talking about eating well on vacation. With summer here, there's a good chance that you may be going on vacation, or you may find yourself a bit in vacation mode because of the summer weather. So let's talk about how do you eat well on vacation. And the first thing I want to point out is that you don't eat as well on vacation as you do when you're not on vacation. So that's the first piece of advice I have for you is start to separate your eating into at least two categories of when you're at home in your normal situation, we can call that on-track eating. And when you're into abnormal situations, vacation, holiday modes, just different situations, we want to make a line and realize these are two different types of eating that you're going to do, and you want to grade yourself accordingly. You're not going to go on vacation and eat as well as you do when you're at home in your normal environment. And so I don't think you should aim for that as a goal. And if you do think you're going to go on vacation and eat just as well as you do when you're at home in your normal environment, most likely what's going to happen is it's not going to last even 2 hours into your vacation. And then you're going to say, fuck it, I'm done. I'm not going to do any of it. I'm just going to blow it. And so we want to set proper expectations right off the bat and realize that it's not about eating perfect on vacation. It's about eating better on vacation than you have in the past. And so if you eat 20, 30, 40% better on vacation than you did in the past, that's the win. Again, we're not trying to eat the same as we do in our normal situation. So when you go on vacation, again, we want to enjoy ourselves. And so I'm saying all this because this is the mindset piece. What you're going into vacation thinking is going to have such a huge impact on what you do and how you feel about it. So again, please do not go into vacation with a diet mindset that you're going to eat perfectly. Start to see it for what it really is. And we want to go into minimize the damage mode, where again, we eat better than we did last time. We act better than we did last time. But that's what we're basing ourselves against. So that becomes the beginning thing. So you set an expectation that's realistic for you to do. And then the next thing we follow it up with mindset wise is that when you go on vacation, you want to have the most enjoyable vacation you can possibly have. And what that's going to mean is that, yes, you eat some more of what you like to eat, more fun foods and do fun things. But we want to go so far with it that you actually feel like crap because you ate too much dessert, too much, calories, too much processed food. You don't eat too much junk because then you don't feel well. And then you don't enjoy your vacation as much because you feel tired, you feel exhausted, you don't want to move. So we want to find that sweet spot where you get to eat the food you enjoy moderately so that you can do more fun things while you're on vacation. And so that's kind of, again, those are the mindset pieces. Let's get to the strategic pieces. The strategic pieces of eating better on vacation. The first thing is to start with the first meal of the day. So typically breakfast, first meal of the day, work to make that the healthiest one of all. Okay. So even no matter what you do the rest of the day, start off with a solid breakfast or lunch if that's what you start with. But start with the first meal of the day being the healthiest one that you can get, as natural, as whole foods based as you can make it. Because that kind of grounds you in that mindset. So even if you kind of lose the plot the rest of the day and you get carried away with the fun foods, you know that you at least started your day with something healthy. And when you start your day with something healthy, a lot of times it tends to help you make better choices throughout the day. But even if you get off track, tomorrow you get it right back to that healthy food thing. The next thing is to drink lots of water. Make sure you got a water bottle with you or some source of water so that even again, if the food gets a little wonky, you can bring yourself back on track with the water. It can help you digest it more effectively, help you feel like you're doing something healthy along the way. Next thing is when you go on vacation is do a little bit of research ahead of time. Look for stores that you may be able to get some healthy foods at and bring back to wherever you're staying, and look for restaurants and places to eat that have healthier options. And so that you're not trying to figure them out once you're there, but you've kind of pre-planned them. And of course, this becomes easier with our phones now. We can kind of do this in real time. But again, it becomes the more you're prepared to succeed with your eating on vacation by knowing the different healthier options and places, the better you're going to do. So again, these are just some strategies you can use. But again, I can't stress enough, it's the mindset piece that's the most important one, that you do not expect that you're going to be perfect with this. Realize that you're going on vacation and start to understand that part of weight mastery is not eating perfect forever. It's being able to eat perfect, but then when you go on vacation, you can let loose a little bit, not as crazy as you have been. And then once you get back home, you're able to pull it right back into your normal eating routines. So think about these, and I hope it helps you out. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them. Let's see. Hey, what's up, Julie? Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you. Remy says day drinking. Oh boy, day drinking. Yep, I've done day drinking. Day drinking is, man, that I will tell you, Day drinking is like, it used to be so fun, but it was also the darkest too. Like it was really fun. I used to have fun day drinking, but then I would be, by the afternoon, early evening, I'd be feeling like total shit. So day drinking was a blessing and a curse. Thank God I don't do that much now. But yeah, even vacation, sometimes you might vacation, there's more day drinking, perhaps, more drinking in general. So again, don't stop yourself from it. Just pay attention to how it feels when you do it. That usually is enough, Smita Sart says, love that advice. I'm glad you like that, because this is advice that's well worn. Not only by me, but my clients have tested all this out. Every strategy I share with you, certainly this one I just shared with you about vacations, is well worn, well tested. And if you experiment with it, I think you'll find that it's very, very helpful. All right. Let's see here. So everyone's having a nice Friday. We're here on Friday, one of my favorite days of the week. What's up, Teresa? How's it going? Parsons, how's it going? Nice seeing you. I haven't seen you in a while. What's up, Mario? Stopped eating after 6 and felt so goddamn hungry. Yeah, well, Mario, again, I told you. Mario, I joke with you, but I told you yesterday. What did I say to you? I said, what time do you stop eating? What did you say? 9 o'clock, I think. I said, listen, the experiment was 7:30, 8 o'clock. Right? Of course, what do? You go right to 6. A man of extremes, but that's okay. Nothing wrong with being a person of extremes as long as you learn from it. Okay. So yeah, you go, this right in a nutshell is my problem with intermittent fasting right here, is that I like intermittent fasting. I intermittent fast. What I don't like about it is the way dieters approach it. And so if you're using intermittent fasting like a dieter, I don't like it. And I don't think it's going to work for you, because again, you're going to go from, you probably eat 16 hours a day and now you're going to eat 8 hours a day. That's a drastic shift in behavior and it's overwhelming. And so, again, Mario, to stop eating 3 hours earlier is a drastic shift. An hour and a half, it's manageable probably. 3 hours, or it's just too much, So again, not surprised that you were really hungry there. What's up, Jonathan? How's it going? I tried oatmeal with no sugar in it and I'm disgusted. I can't believe it. You didn't like the oatmeal with no sugar in it? That's funny. Yeah, oatmeal with no sugar in it. Now, I will tell you, this is part of the process. Part of the process is retraining your taste buds. And I consider this a fundamental part of the process, is retraining your taste buds. Your taste buds have been conditioned to make you overweight. Let's just keep it simple. And so when you want to start changing what you're eating, you can't just start. You're not going to like the healthy stuff. You're not going to like it, literally not like it. Is it because it's not good? No, it's because you've been conditioned to like hyper palatable, artificial, ultra processed flavors. And so sugar's a big one there. So, I can tell you, I eat oatmeal. That's not a normal breakfast for me, but when I do eat oatmeal, I absolutely eat just plain ass oatmeal. What will I put in? I'll put some sugar in it. What do I make? Sometimes I'll cut up apples. I'll put cinnamon in it. What sweetener do I use? Maybe I'll put a little brown sugar. I don't know. I like bland flavors though. Now I've trained myself for that. So I might not even put anything. I like bland stuff though. Didn't used to. Want to make that clear. I'm not just someone who, you're lucky, Jim. You don't like sweet stuff. I used to love sweet stuff and I liked hyper palatable flavors, but I have conditioned myself as part of my process of mastering my weight, is I have had part of my process is focusing on my taste buds and calibrating them to a more natural level. This is why I wouldn't eat real sugar or artificial sugar on my clean days. I'm looking to limit those. I'm looking to limit processed foods because they're there to appeal and overwhelm you. And so I get that, Jonathan, but don't let your first experience with new natural flavors be the defining factor. I went through this with natural peanut butter compared to Jif peanut butter. It didn't taste as good to me at first. Then I got used to it. And again, it's the more I calibrate my flavors to more blander, natural flavor profiles, the easier time I have mastering my weight because I enjoy eating healthy foods taste-wise now. And I'm much more sensitive to the overwhelming, ridiculously hyper palatable flavorings of processed food. And I don't find that as appealing anymore. So, Brianna says, get vanilla stevia drops. That's fine again, that's one of those things that's fine as a temporary thing, if that's what you choose to do. But if you, again, I want to take it a level deeper. I know you all don't want to hear this. You want to hear substitutes because you don't want to give up the sweetness, but it's that sweetness, that addiction to super sweet flavorings in your life that's part of the problem. I like sweet stuff. Like I still eat sweet stuff, usually on the weekends more than on pleasure days, occasionally during the week, but mostly it's more on the pleasure days. It's compressed to that. And I enjoy it there. I don't want to enjoy sweet shit all week long because now I have to fight against sweet cravings all the time. I have to eat natural whole flavors and it's not that exciting to me. So it becomes the more sweetness you introduce into your food, the more challenging it is to eat healthier foods typically for the average person, So again, do the vanilla stevia drops and continue to do them forever. I mean, it's always your choice, but recognize that yes, I'll like it more, but it's also calibrating to enjoy sweeter flavors. And that's going to cause you across the board, when it's more natural whole flavors, you're going to find them less exciting, less enjoyable. So take it whichever direction you want to go with that. What's up, E? How's it going? Good morning from PST. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're out there, out in Pacific. I don't know why for some reason I thought you're like from New York or something. I don't know why I thought that, but West Coast. Parson, soda's the worst for me, trying to drink more water to cut the cravings. Oh, great strategy. Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah, I like that too, because what a lot of people do when they want to say, well, it's pretty much anything, but certainly like, oh, I got to stop with the soda. What they're doing is they focus on what they have to stop doing. And so I like to focus on what I'm going to start doing instead. And I think, Parsons, you're really onto something there, that yes, you want to stop drinking so much soda, but the strategy I would use is I would say, I'm going to start drinking more water. So I'll still drink soda, but I'm going to cut it down by half and I'm going to replace the other half with water. That's the deal I'm going to make with myself. And I think that's a good strategy because it gives your brain something to focus on that you're going to do as opposed to focus on what you have to stop doing. So I think that's a good one. Robert said, are you happy with your weight? Yeah, I'm thrilled with my weight. Totally thrilled with it. I'm right exactly, literally where I want to be. That's always the goal I want for you all. I want you to be able to say I weigh exactly what I want to weigh. That's my goal for you. I weigh exactly what I want to weigh. Now, do I look exactly the way I want to look? I'll never look the way I want to look. So those are two different things, right? But I can't control that. I always say with weight mastery, to me, there's two sides to it. There's action, doing the things to get you to the weight you want to be at, and acceptance. In this culture we live in where we're constantly being shown ideas and images of what beauty looks like, being a man or a woman looks like, or, being the ideal person looks like, it's crazy and it's nonstop. So part of this process of mastering your weight is some acceptance of who you are and realizing that that's good enough. That's fine. So those are two different things, but I'm absolutely thrilled with my weight. I weigh exactly what I want to weigh. Jonathan says, I love sweet stuff, but I guess the only sweet, healthy things are fruit. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Honey, fruit. Yeah, that's about it. So again, I get you love sweet stuff. You know what I mean? Like I love drinking alcohol. I love getting shit-faced. But at some point you say, I love it, but I don't love the consequences of it. And so when you keep reflecting on it that way, you start to realize, you know what? I really don't like the consequences. I guess I don't love it. I kind of liked it, but when I took at the big picture, when I zoom out, look at the big picture of it, I don't love it because I don't like being hungover. I don't like how I feel. I don't like all that stuff. So it's the same thing with the sweets. I was the same way. I look at it now. It's just so crazy to me. I share this with you all the time, but it's like a typical day for me back in the day was I would start with breakfast. I always ate breakfast. So I'd always eat pretty much when I woke up. I would eat sugar cereal. I'd have white bread with Jif peanut butter on it. Then within an hour or so, I'd have a donut, a croissant, or a muffin, one of those. Then I'd have lunch, and I'd always have like cookies after lunch, something sweet like that. Then in the afternoon, I'd usually have like a bag of chips or something and maybe a candy bar or some kind of candy or soda. Then I'd have my dinner a little bit after that, which was the most solid meal of the day. Again, it was whole foods, a ton of calories, a ton of butter and pasta and stuff, but it was whole food core. And I'm thankful for that. And then I would snack all night. And I'd have dessert before that anyways. And so like I never binged on sugar, but I was constantly eating sugar. And so it was, kind of looking at that and saying, when I started to really learn about sugar, it became, yeah, I like it, but I don't like the effects of it. I don't want to live with this in my life. And that really became the belief that I built where I'm at now, where I don't really consume a sugar at all, Smita Sard says, do you advise intermittent fasting? I don't advise it. I mean, I think it's something to play around with and see how you feel about it. I do not like intermittent fasting as a diet mentality. I don't think jumping into it makes much sense. I think starting to create a bigger and bigger window of time when you're not eating is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. And I think focusing on making that window before when you go to bed and when you stop eating, the bigger you make that window, I think the better you're going to feel because you're going to sleep better. Everything gets better. And so I think it's a nice way to kind of work up to it. But I think just jumping into not eating for 16 hours is overwhelming for most people. And it doesn't lead to good results. Julie says, I've been exploring amazing salads, goat cheese, pears, walnuts, any way to eat salads and fruits. I feel amazing. Julie, you're amazing, Julie. Because boy, what a binary switch you have in your brain. So I'm really happy to hear that, and that's where we want to be at. We want to get excited about the foods we get to eat. That's one of the biggest distinctions I can say between dieting and weight mastery. Dieting is really, again, because dieting is created, all the diets are owned by the big food companies, which is to say you've learned how to lose weight from Heinz, Nestle, the Unilever. You don't know these companies probably, but all the big diets are owned by these companies. Weight Watchers was owned by Heinz. Jenny Craig was owned by Nestle. Slim Fast owned by the same company owns Ben and Jerry's ice cream. These companies have been filling your head with rocks for so long that what the diet does is that when you go on a diet, it's almost like you're completely focused and fixated on the food you got to stop eating, right? When you do keto, you're obsessed with carbs. When you're doing, other things, you're just obsessed with high calorie foods, obsessed with sweets, obsessed with your ice cream. And you're so fixated on them that it becomes counterproductive because your subconscious mind doesn't understand negatives, right? If I sit here and tell you, do not think about a banana. Don't think about the banana. Don't think about a yellow banana, right? I'm telling you not to do it, but what are you thinking about? A banana. So these diets are set up. The diet, I believe this is the biggest conspiracy in the history of certainly weight, but certainly, maybe in the history of humankind. And one of the reasons why is that diets literally get you fixated on the exact thing you're trying to eat less of. So what Julie's saying here is, and what I'm trying to help you do in Program Yourself Thin, is I want you to get fixated on the good foods that you get to eat, the healthy foods, the foods that make you feel alive and slim your body down and give you a better level of health and make you happier. I want you to get fixated and focused on those. And the more you focus on those, naturally, those other foods fade away. Excuse me. So that's a big secret. That's a big, big distinction difference. And it makes all the difference in the world, Jody says, cook the oatmeal and mash it up. A banana. Yeah, the sweetness of the banana makes it taste good. There you go. That's a great suggestion by Jody. So again, chocolate chips, there are ways to add some sweetness as a transitional thing or forever. You know what I mean? Again, if you want to get the sugar down to a manageable level, and then it's up to you if you want to go no sweetness or not. I like starting my first meal of the day. I don't want any sugar in it. That's why I was so motivated to get rid of the Jif peanut butter and the Wonder Bread. I don't want sugar in my body in the morning. I don't want to start my day off with sugar simply because I know it's going to make the rest of the day a lot harder. And I don't want to struggle. I don't want to see. That's what I'm trying to tell you all. When we talk about weight mastery, my goal is not for you just to lose weight. It's for you to get to your goal weight and then live the rest of your life at your goal weight on near autopilot. That's the key part, because I want you to be set up for good. And you can't be set up for success for good if you have to micromanage every little decision you make. So I want to make it automated. And so one of the ways I automate myself is I eliminate the sugar in the morning because it makes the rest of the day flow easier. Not perfect. You know what I mean? It doesn't fix everything, but it sets me up for success. So again, that's a great idea though. I love the banana one. Super. Yeah. West Coast. All right. Julie says a couple of dates and figs instead of sugary snacks. Yeah, for sure. And dates and figs are sugary as shit. I remember when I was a raw foodist, we would have, I forget what they called them. Was it figs? It was figs. It was figs rolled in coconut, and it was raw. And it was like, man, that was one of the sweetest things I've ever tasted in my life. But yeah, that's a sweet thing. If you're looking for sweet, again, on the natural level, I'd always go natural over, processed sugar. What gives you certainty that salads are nutritious? What gives you certainty that salads are nutritious? I mean, nothing gives me certainty. I mean, you could have like a wedge salad. That's not a nutritious salad. Iceberg lettuce with blue cheese and bacon all over it. That's not a nutritious salad. So, I'm certainly talking within context. So could you have an unhealthy salad? Yeah, sure. You could have, seafood salad, tuna salad, chicken salad. Not that they're not healthy, but they're there's a lot of mayonnaise and fat and all the rest of it. But, yeah. So, I'm talking about I'll talk about my salads. My salad has each salad I make has a heaping amount of uh, small leaf greens in it, all different kinds. Usually 6 to 8 different types of fruits, vegetables. So it's an extremely nutrient dense and variety based salad. So that's what gives me the certainty that the salad is nutritious. What's up, Paula? What do you think of cultivated meat? Are you talking about like the vegan stuff, like the non-meat meat, or are you talking about right? You must be, because what would cultivated meat that was actually meat be? Although I guess they could do anything, right? But I do know that there are like vegan meats, you know what I mean? Like that. So my son likes those. They're made out of mycelium. When you think of a mushroom, you think of the top part, but underneath it, there's a lot more action going on. It's almost like the roots of the mushroom, the mycelium. And that's what they make this out of. Pea. I don't like that stuff, to be honest. I don't like any of it. I don't eat meat. I eat a little bit of fish here and there. But if I was going to eat meat, in the fish I don't eat farmed fish. No, thank you. I eat pretty much sockeye salmon, maybe trout, wild caught trout. Occasionally I'll eat some tuna. I really try to avoid the big fish. But if I did eat land animals now, and I used to, but I don't anymore. But if I was going to eat land animals, I don't want to eat factory farmed animals for a number of reasons. And the least of them is how the animals are treated. And I'm not thrilled about that, but that's the least of the reasons why. I think health-wise, I don't want anything to do with that stuff. Just like I don't want anything to do with the farmed fish, but I eat fish. So it's not an ethical thing with the fish piece primarily. It's the quality of the meat I'm consuming. But when it comes to the vegan and alternative meats, I'm not a fan of that. I don't like processed anything, to be honest. I don't like ultra processed anything. And these like Impossible Burgers, Beyond Burgers, I'm not saying I'll eat them occasionally, but I don't really like it. And it's nothing I would base my diet on. Just simply because I don't want super processed shit. When it's super processed, it's not natural. I don't know how my body's going to react to that. And I've eaten Impossible Burger and I didn't feel good. I don't like it. Maybe it's psychosomatic. I don't know. But I'm just not interested in eating super processed stuff. So yeah, cultivated meat is definitely not something I'm interested in eating. Excuse me. Brandon says, barely slept last night, not feeling good. Ate probably 1,200 calories already before 1 p.m. Restricting myself for the rest of the day ain't a good idea. I've learned my lesson. Any advice? Yeah, Brianna, that's a great question, because this is going to happen, right? We're going to have nights where we sleep like shit, or we're stressed out, or something's going on, and we're hungry, and we might overdo it in the breakfast. So what do we do, right? So the first 4 hours you're up, you pounded 1,200 calories, right? Now you're like, oh shit, what do I do now? Do not restrict. Okay. What I like to do in that situation, ideally, is I like to make what I'm going to eat the rest of the day. So I can eat whatever I want as long as it's healthy. That's what I initially tell myself. Now, sometimes I'm in such a shitty mood, I'll eat 1,200 calories in the first 4 hours and I'll eat another 2,800 calories the rest of the day. I mean, sometimes we choose the violence, right? It's just the way it goes. But in an ideal world, what I like to do when I notice I slept like shit or I'm in a mood, my first line of defense is fruits and whole natural foods. And so I will eat, like, I know it sounds strange. I say you work up to this, but like I'll eat extra bananas. Usually I'll have one banana. I might have 2 bananas. I might eat 2 apples. I might eat extra salad. I'm looking to put as much nourishing stuff in my body as I can first. And a lot of times what I find, if I can do that, it really subsides the hunger. And like I said, a lot of the time. And then sometimes it don't matter. You know what I mean? And I said, fuck the fruit. I don't care about it. I just want to eat the bullshit. And so again, the point is that it's one day is not going to make a difference regardless. Okay. But again, I want to keep myself on track as much as possible because it feels better. So again, my advice to you would be really lean on the healthier, natural foods. Okay. Salads, fruits, whole foods in whatever form you can get them in. That's what I would focus on eating. And if I'm really, really hungry and kind of in a mood and I want to eat, that's my first line of defense that I'm focusing on. Drink water, take a nap. These are the other things I would do if it was a sleep related thing. I'd take a nap if I could. I'd drink more water. I'd go for a walk if I could get outside, things like that. Jonathan said, I just drink diet soda now instead of regular. I stopped drinking alcohol 5 weeks ago and started walking. Diet hasn't changed, not dropped a pound. Oh, okay. I thought that was Jonathan. Continue. You guys are the same. Jonathan said, I just drink diet soda now instead of regular. That's not that much better. I literally just read this. I'll share this with you because I literally just wrote this down in a book I was reading. So I will share this with you. Where is this? Come on, update. Let me get this. But it's about this exact thing. There it is. Let's get to it. Hold on one second. Where are you at? I know I just wrote this. Oh, my goodness. Oh, well. I wanted to give you the specific. I could just tell you, but I wanted to give you the specific. Oh, okay. Susan Swithers carried out experiments where it gave rats real and artificial sugar. The artificial sugar rats gained more weight. She said the sweeteners seem to cause a metabolic derangement. So, these artificial sweeteners, again, I'm always going to choose the real thing over the natural, over the artificial thing. And so, the diet soda as being I'm really on the fence with that. I don't know. I know calorie wise, it's less calories, but I really don't know. I don't think the artificial sweeteners is that better. I don't know if it's better, to be honest. But just to let you know, Jonathan, not to bum you out, I know you feel like you did something good and you made a change. So that part's good. And if you made that change, you can make other changes. So, there's that. Look at that. What's up, Sheila? I'm at a familiar juncture where I've lost 4 pounds in 6 weeks and I'm starting to think it's not working or my metabolism is too slow. I'm quite happy with what I'm eating. I think I need a pep talk. Yeah, Sheila, for sure. That's totally common, is that, again, now, Sheila, I don't know if you're still here. Could you let me know how much you would like to, how far away from your goal weight? So I know you said I lost 4 pounds in 6 weeks, but where are you at in terms of overall goal? So let me know how much weight you want to lose total. And then I can give you the better pep talk. Joan says, hi, Jim. I'm embarrassed. I fell asleep during the wonderful live coaching. Oh my God. That was funny, Joan. We saw that. That was funny. Hey, no problem. You can fall asleep on those. I've had that happen. I had that happen a couple times, but it's so funny. But I had a person do it one time. They fell asleep, but they were snoring into their microphone. That was funny. I became aware through this process that I'm attracted to intensity. Now looking for ways to get it without binge eating on bakery. Yeah. That's so true. The overeating, that's back to Mario. We're talking about big backing it, right? Big backing is this idea where you just go wild with the calorie. Like I always joke, like the cheesecake sandwich. Like you take a burger and cheeseburger and put it between 2 pieces of cheesecake. It's just like overdoing it. You know what I mean? Like as much as you can. And there is an intensity level to the eating sometimes. Our eating is such a mixed cauldron of stuff from how we were raised to experiences we've had to our genetics to how we deal with emotion. I mean, it's just, there's so much going on there. And sometimes the intensity of eating and feeling stuffed and doing something intense eating wise, there's a lot of emotional, psychological stuff going on there. So again, for Joan, and what I say to all of us, so much of this process of mastering our weight is understanding ourselves. You know what I mean? Is understanding ourselves deeper, because we think we know everything, but we don't. It's really, it's kind of cliche a little bit, but it's like, I forget what the Latin is this, but it's like know thyself. That is really the core I've seen for myself, and all my clients have been successful. It's always the same thing, that it's a process of developing awareness about who you are, about what your behaviors are, your thought patterns, your beliefs are, all the rest of it. And it's really a process of gaining awareness of these things and then working to resolve them. And so great job, Joan, becoming aware of that. And then you just go, now you spend some time stalking it, understanding it, and then you can, still work on coming up with solutions to it, Oh, okay. So Sheila's here. So I want to lose 70. Okay. So you want to drop 70 pounds and you're down so far 4 pounds in 6 weeks. What I would say, I mean, first off, and again, I find this interesting because this is probably the diet mindset shows up in a lot of ways, but this is the core one that sabotages people, is that even if you drop weight, now I know you all you dieters are hearing 4 pounds in 6 weeks. Fuck that. Fuck that. That's too slow. It's not hardly anyone. I'd never, nope. I know that's what everyone's thinking. But the key part that I'm looking at with Sheila, and I know this enough about Sheila here, is that I'm quite happy with what I'm eating. And so when you think about, we have 4 pounds in 6 weeks, fuck that. That's no. So what do you want to do then? Well, I want to lose 2 pounds a week at least. I don't want to go crazy, but 2 pounds a week, I think that's reasonable. Okay. Well, how are you gonna lose 2 pounds a week? Go ahead. Tell me how you're gonna lose 2 pounds a week. And then right after you tell me how you're gonna lose 2 pounds a week, answer the question, are you gonna be happy eating that way? And don't bullshit yourself. And don't bullshit me. You're not gonna be happy eating that way. It's gonna be a struggle. You're not gonna be able to maintain it. So the key thing, Sheila, is that you're happy with how you're eating. Right. And that's the key thing is we're creating a foundation of how to eat. And so you're not even a plateau yet. You're just losing weight slower than you expect because every dieter expects to lose. I can't tell you the number of times I've heard someone say, Jim, I don't want to go crazy. I don't have ridiculous expectations. I feel like 2 pounds a week is that's fair. No, 2 pounds a week is a lot of weight to lose. And it's a lot of weight to lose consistently week after week. It takes a pretty extreme shift in your diet to lose 2 pounds a week. Unless if you're morbidly obese, that's a different story. Okay. But, okay. So that's the first thing. So the 4 pounds to me, it's like, again, I always look at the process. So I look at how do I typically eat day in and day out, week after week. And I start making changes there. And I know if I reduce the calories that I'm typically consuming and I'm able to do it in a comfortable way, I know the weight's going to come down. So I'm really fixated and focused on the process of my eating because I know that's what's controlling the weight. And so it's the same thing for you, Sheila. So I hear that the key thing is that I'm quite happy with what I'm eating. Great. So now you go to work on optimizing it. You make it even more enjoyable, easier, structure it. Okay. So I want to know what your structure is, right? Have you structured it yet? Have you gone through things? I don't know. So I want to see your eating blueprint, at this point. And I want to know how accurately you're following that. If you're following perfectly and you feel great doing it, super. Now let's look at it and say, where would be the easiest place for you to reduce some more calories? By 10%. And then I would start to go to work on that, but you're in a great spot. Cause let's just say all you dieters already checking out 4 pounds in 6 weeks. Fuck this. I'm going to go join Weight Watchers. Let's think of it a different way. Let's say 0.7 pounds a week, right? Let's just say it's, 3 pounds a month. Let's just stick with that. Okay. At 3 pounds a month, oh my God, that's going to take forever. It's never going to happen. Yeah, because you think like a fucking dieter and you think like a dieter and you think 4 pounds a week for what? For a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months? How long have you stayed on your last diet? How long did you stay on your diet last time? How long? Okay. Now let's compare it to when you're really happy with how I'm eating. How long can you continue eating in a way where you're really happy with how you're eating? Forever? Well, let's just say a year. Okay. So now we take that year and we multiply that by the 3 pounds. Now we're talking 36 pounds down. And so now a year from now, you're 36 pounds lighter, but you did it in a way where you love eating that way, where it's really easy for you. Because again, this isn't about weight loss, it's about weight mastery. And so now you've set yourself up to live at that goal weight forever. And so 2 years from now, you achieve your final goal and you approach it, but you've done it in a way where you're set up to live it that way for the rest of your life. Why? Because you lost the weight by eating what you're quite happy eating. I can't stress this enough. And I don't know how dieters just fucking miss this a day after. I don't know. It makes me nuts. And this is why I never have a dieter debating me or arguing with me because you know it. Your diets are bullshit. They're temporary. So fucking knock yourself out. Lose 10 pounds a week. Do what you need to do to lose 10 pounds a week. We know what that is. Shut this thing down completely. Don't let anything in there. How long can you do it for though? Right? That's always the question the dieter never wants to think about. How long can you do that for? How long? I'm not impressed by fast weight loss at all. Not at all. I get people all the time. Oh, Jim, I lost 30 pounds last month. Yeah. Give me a call in 3 months. Let me know where you're at. I want to hear it. Thanks, Jonathan. Not trying to be a dick, but it's like, I get people, oh, the slow move. I get it. Oh, pound a week. Oh, what the fuck? What are you thinking? I just don't get it. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm a crazy person. But anyway, Sheila, I'm proud of you because that's the big thing is that the key thing is you're losing weight in a way that's comfortable. And to be honest, you're just still in the beginning of the process. You really are. You got to refine your blueprint even more. So I want to know if you got your blueprint filled out, if you're following it. That's the key thing. Because if you do have your blueprint filled out and you are following it and you're losing weight, now and you're quite happy with that eating blueprint, the game's pretty much won. Now what we do, well, yeah, we'll tweak a little more. We'll chop out 10, 15% more calories. You're still going to be quite happy with how you're eating. Now the weight loss will probably pick up a little bit more. It'll continue. So I think you're in a great spot. That's what I think. Yeah. She'll say, I just realized that I think my problem is not exercising enough. That's probably not the problem. I will let you know that. Exercising is not the weight loss elixir it's been put out to be. The reason you think exercise, I mean, listen, intuitively, exercising seems to make sense. Okay. But the reality is that exercising is not very effective for weight loss, because as soon as you start exercising, there's a lot of negative consequences that happen as well. You're going to be more tired. You're going to be more sore. And most importantly, you're going to be more hungry. And so, and your body goes and does all sorts of shit where it starts to lower your energy output in ways you don't even realize. So I never recommend for people to start their weight loss journey by starting to exercise more. I would tell you, Sheila, it's not the exercise. Listen, I exercise. Okay. I'm not telling you not to exercise, but I also want you to realize that's not the problem with the weight. You got it. I believe this so much. You got to master your weight by mastering what's going on in your mouth. Okay. So the answer is to dial in that eating blueprint. Yes, I'm following my blueprint. I like it. Great. Now let's optimize it. Okay. Now you focus on optimizing the blueprint. All right. That's the key thing. And so look at your blueprint now. See, this is the beauty. This is what my favorite part of this whole program is. Now you have a blueprint in front of you. What's a blueprint? It's a structured way of eating where you have pleasure days, we have clean days, and you have pleasure days. So you can eat what you like as well on this. But you start to structure your eating. Now you know what you're eating, breakfast, lunch, dinners, or maybe snacks in between there. Now you can look at that and you can ask the magical question, Sheila, where would be the easiest place for me to reduce some calories looking at this blueprint? And again, now you can do the 3 R's: reduce, replace, remove. Okay. So take some higher calorie food you're eating and replace it with a lower calorie food. Take some higher calorie food and cut it out if you want to. Reduce how much of it you're eating. Now you start getting strategic, Sheila. And now, again, the difference for you now, Sheila, is you have a foundation. In programming yourself, then the whole foundation of everything is I'm quite happy with how I'm eating. Because why? Because programming yourself then is about living at your goal weight forever. It's not about doing drastic shit to make you lose weight quickly. It's about living at your goal weight forever. So in order to do that, you need to have an eating structure that you're quite happy to follow. I love how I eat. I love it. I don't have a problem following my plan because it's custom made for me and I love it. And it keeps me at my goal weight. And so Sheila, you got most of the pieces in place, and now it's kind of just tweaking it a bit so the weight goes down to where you want it to go. Okay. But you're right in the perfect spot. All right. So it's not about the weight you've lost so far. It's about the fact that you have an eating blueprint that you're aware of now, one that you're quite happy to follow, and now one that you can optimize it. Yeah, Sheila said, I really, really need to hear that about exercise. I know you do, because dieters, they start getting real anxious when they're not losing the weight and they get desperate. I'm not going to start working out like crazy. No. Just relax. Relax, Sheila. This is the beauty of what we're doing here is relax and calm down. Listen to a hypnosis session. Just pick one, relax and calm down, and then look at your eating blueprint with a strategic brain and say, okay, where would be the easiest place for me to cut something out comfortably? And that's the process you go through until you get to your goal weight, basically. No? So good job, Sheila. I'm proud of you. This is the process though. You know, we don't know what to do. We're figuring it out. And that's what you're doing. So again, this is normal, what you're going through, completely normal. So back to JoJo. I stopped drinking alcohol 5 weeks ago and started walking. Diet hasn't changed, not dropped a pound. Yeah, I mean, 5 weeks early isn't that long. You haven't changed your diet much. You started walking and stopped drinking alcohol. As soon as we stop drinking alcohol, the licensing effect pops in, and you're so proud of yourself for stopping drinking alcohol that you probably have been eating a little bit more, I would bet. So, if the weight hasn't changed in 5 weeks, it's probably because your calorie consumption hasn't really dropped much, most likely. And or you have to give a little bit of time. Heather says, last minute going to MD for son's lax tournament. Oh, Maryland. Okay, that's the doctors. Last minute go to Maryland for son's lax tournament, and my first instinct was not to go because of eating options. Planning to rehearse myself throughout the day as my ideal self because I want to be there. Yeah, Heather, this is perfect. Yeah, good for you. Okay. And it's about recognizing those first instincts and then pulling them out from whispering back there to you, pulling them out in front and say, no, I want to go to this thing and I want to go and I want to thrive at it. I want to go and have a great time. I want to eat well and I want to enjoy the shit out of it. And you go into it, that edge, remember that challenge response, I want to thrive here. I want to succeed. I want to go to this lax tournament and just come back killing it. That's what I want. That's why we have to take these little shitty beliefs we have in the back and pull them out in front and address them and deal with them. We can't let the little whispers in the back of our head control things. So great job, Heather. Great job being aware of that, and great job asking the better question. Super, super. And then we'll talk about it on Tuesday. Again, do what you're going to do. Super job. And then we'll build on that on Tuesday night. So wonderful, wonderful. Mario says, yeah, I thought I could get used to 6 p.m. quickly, but nope. What's up, Benamina? Smith Joan, Coke, I can't live without it. Yeah, that's some dumb shit to say. I get what you're saying. I get it, but what a fucking, you know what I mean? Like, I'm so not impressed by things like that anymore. I know it feels that way. I'm not judging anyone, but I am saying, like, it's like, cocaine, can't live without it. Heroin, don't knock till you try it. Can't live without it. I love it. It makes life. It's like, it's fine. I'm joking too, because I have clients that they continue to drink Coke. It's not a problem, but it's how much you're drinking of it. Maybe you drink a Coke a day. Maybe you drink a Coke once a week. I don't know what you're doing. Maybe you drink 5 Cokes a day and your teeth are falling out of your head and you got diabetes. I don't know where you're at with it, but you can absolutely live without Coke. Just so everyone knows, no matter how much you like it. What's up, Don? Yep. Happy Friday. Yeah, Mario says, hope you're talking about the soda. That's funny. What dressing do you use? I use kind of Greek dressings. I'm a big fan of Greek dressings. I get a local homemade one. I shouldn't say it's home. Well, literally it's actually made in a home. It's a weird story, but Ken's dressing, like the Ken's simple vinaigrette. It's got like 3 or 4 ingredients. That's a great one. And they got a couple different types. I think those are good. But don't worry too much about the dressing. The main thing I think about with dressing, first and foremost, is as natural as possible. And then you can focus on the calorie piece, but don't worry about the calories in a dressing if it's going to get you to eat more salad. All right. Mario says, oh no, I like to eat chickpea nuggets from the store. That's okay, Mario. Again, it's we shift things slowly. So everything's a gradient. Oh, here we go. What the shit? Oh, because I was talking about Coke. Restricted. Yeah. But Mario, remember, things are kind of like, there's always a spectrum, so chickpea nuggets are better than regular chicken nuggets, in my opinion. But again, not having chickpea nuggets is, having a salad over that's probably even better. What's up, Athena? Parza says, do you have any tips on preventing negative reactions based on scale results? Oh yeah. I mean, that's pretty much, that's so much a program yourself then is really the mindset to deal with the negative feedback and challenges of the weight loss game here. So it is funny that I'm restricted though. I can say whatever I want. So I'll remember that when a question gets asked, I can just say whatever I want now. But yeah, negative reactions based on the scale. Okay. So I think the thing with the scale, it's gonna be weird, but the first tip I would say is use the scale every day. Start stepping on it every day, exposure therapy. And then go into the mindset that you're in control. Stop being that scale's like a big bully to you all. You know what I mean? Don't let that be the case. And I know it feels that way now, but you stand up to it. Say, fuck you. I'm in charge of what you say. I'm the boss here. And then remember that the only reason you're even upset with the scale isn't because of what the scale says, it's because it reminds you that you don't really even know how to manage your weight. The problem isn't the scale. It's the fact that it reveals the real problem to you, is that you don't even know how to manage your weight at all. And so learn how to manage your weight, and your feeling about the scale will change quite a bit. And if you're not yet, and I say this to anyone, make sure you go to my bio, click the link, get the hypnosis session, watch the video I made. That'll give you a better insight into how to manage your weight. Athena says, I have a huge problem. I am almost 40 pounds overweight, but I literally only eat real foods and don't snack. Please, any advice? Yeah, that's really interesting. Eat real foods. I'd love to know what that means. So if you want to expand on that, that would be wonderful. Because I've heard a lot of people say they eat only real foods, and it turns out we have completely different ideas of what real food is. So I'm going to start there. But anyways, the problem, if you're 40 pounds overweight and you want to lose weight, it always comes down to calories. Now the first thing you always hear me say is, again, the quality of the food, because that's going to impact the quantity you eat. But my first question is, what does real food mean to you? Caleb Brown says, how old are you? You look amazing. Oh, thank you. I'm almost 50, be 49, and I'll be 58 in a couple months. Thank you for that. Paula says, cultivated meat is real meat made without killing animals. They take the meat cells and make meat. Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah, again, I don't really like lab grown stuff. That's weird to me, but I don't know how the hell they're doing that. I don't know. I'd have to look into that. But again, typically I'm not a big fan of processed things. That's kind of like, I will tell you, that's a rule I've lived by for a long time. That's very served me well, because we can be tricked into believing all sorts of bullshit. But I've lived by the rule that if it's processed, certainly if it's ultra processed, I'm really looking to avoid it just across the board. which doesn't mean I don't eat anything processed or ultra processed. I do, but I really moderate. Again, I think of those foods like I think of alcohol, and I really look to, minimize how much I'm taking them. But it sounds gross anyways. Thanks, Gene. That sounds disgusting. Cultivated meat. Just saw YouTube from fauna.org. What's that? Are they the ones that make that? Yeah, just cultivating meat. That seems so weird. Jonathan says, what I thought diet soda is normal and kind of good for you because no sugar and calories. I drink them every day. Yeah, they're not great. The artificial sweeteners, there's all sorts of problems with it. I don't want to go too deep into this right now, but it's, basically artificial sweeteners. There's a bunch of problems with it. I'll just give you the top one, and I don't feel like going into it right now. But the big issue I have with artificial sweeteners is that it calibrates your taste buds to a very unnaturally sweet level. So if you're consuming artificial sweeteners, it's so sweet that that's what your tongue gets used to. So you drink the artificial sweeteners, and then you go and eat oatmeal with no sugar, and it tastes like total shit, and you're disgusted. Right. So I would not want to drink diet sodas just for that reason alone. And I think that there's more reasons than that with it. But I think that's the big one for me. The second I start drinking artificial sweeteners and diet sodas, my salads don't taste as good. The fruit doesn't taste as good. It tastes bland and boring, and I don't want to eat it. So I avoid that whole thing. And they're not good for you. That I can tell you for sure. They're not good for you. Are they worse than sodas? They're right in the ball. They're right neck and neck. So what's the difference? Neither one were good for you. Angie says 7 pounds in 1 week. Too fast. Trizepatide. What's that shit? Let's look that up. I'm always looking to learn new things. 7 pounds in 1 week. Too fast. I mean, not if you're 1,000 pounds, I suppose, but that's like, that's one of my favorite. You guys all remember Cheers? I always remember, that's one of my favorite things. They always say, Norm, he'd walk in the bar and, they go, hey, what are you up to, Norm? And he goes, my ideal weight if I was 7'3". I always thought that was funny. But anyways, yeah. So 7 pounds in a week, too fast. Tirzepatide, RX online, no monthly membership. All right. Okay. Sold under the brand names Mounjaro and Zepbound. Yeah. All right. So that's the semaglutide. But it's a different name. I don't know. That one's new to me, but sold under the brand names Mounjaro. Okay. So yeah, it's Mounjaro. That's funny. Mounjaro is different than Ozempic and Wegovy. Wegovy and Ozempic are the same thing. They're just Ozempic's for type 2 diabetics, Wegovy's for obesity. Mounjaro is seemingly considered to be the better one out of them because it actually has, I've never heard it called tirzepatide. I've heard it that it's increases the GLP-1 hormone and increases another hormone. I forget the name of it, but that's interesting. 7 pounds in a week too fast. I mean, you'd have to answer that. Jonathan, I heard it. Hello, have you heard of the Big Back song? It's hilarious. No, I have not heard the Big Back song. It just says, and exactly, lots of emotions around this process. Oh, for sure. And even on the weight loss medicines, and I'm almost finished. I got like another 20 pages, but the book Magic Pill, fascinating book. I think it's really interesting. But again, I'm not here to judge anyone. So it's like, if you're on your weight loss medicines, I still want you to be able to come and listen to me. I want to be a source of support for you. It's obviously, it's not the strategy I suggest, but I'm here to support people, whatever path you choose to take. 7 pounds in a week's a lot. I will tell you that. Brianna says, missed your answer to my question. If you don't mind repeating, it was tips for the rest of the day. Okay. Yeah. I was telling you, eat more fruit, more whole foods. So you don't have to stop eating, just force yourself. I always make the deal with myself. So force myself sounds like it's the wrong framing, but, when I'm hungry, I've had a shitty night of sleep, I will, I will eat, but I won't stop eating. Like I won't, like you said, now I'm going to stop. I'm going to restrict. I wouldn't restrict. I consider like half restricting. I'll half restrict myself that I won't eat unhealthy stuff. If I want to eat, it's going to be healthier stuff. That's my goal. And then I was saying also, that's my goal. Sometimes I will do that. And sometimes I fuck it. I'm just eating all bullshit all day. So again, whichever path you take, you're going to take one of them, but that's at least an alternative for you. And I was also saying, if it's because of sleep, let yourself take a nap, drink some more water, get outside for a walk, do things to deal with it as well. Star says, I was really craving that cheesecake I have in my fridge. So I swiped it with some nuts. It worked. Yeah. Great job. That's a great job. Yeah. Replacement's a very effective strategy. Lee says, do you have a recommended weigh-in schedule, daily, weekly, monthly? Again, it's up to you, but if you're going to use the scale, God, please don't do it once a week. I would do it every day. And I did do it every day when I was losing weight. I think there's a lot of good reasons to do it every day. Now, I know some people are really triggered and at the mercy of the scale, but again, in Program Yourself Thin, it's not just about, oh, weigh yourself every day. It's weigh yourself every day. And here's the mindset to help you thrive with that. So, but that's what I kind of suggest. I think that's the best one personally. Or don't weigh yourself at all. If you really hate this guy, just stop weighing yourself, Brandon says, when I've already gone over my calories for the day and it's 1 p.m. Oh yeah, I did answer that. Exercise helps your mood. Yep. Get on some exercise, do some stuff. Balance and knowledge is key. Yes, absolutely. I travel for fun. Ice cream shop. I travel for fun. My eating blueprint equals ice cream and cakes. Great. Again, I there's no judgment for me. I don't want people feel that because I don't even I never look at things like judgmentally because I learned this a Martin Luther King quote or idea. I love this. I live by this. But one time they asked Martin Luther King, they said, hey, what do you think of this general? And they go, I think he's a good person, blah, blah, blah. And they said, how can you say that? You're a man of peace and he's a man of war. And he goes, I never judge someone by my values. I judge them by how they live up to their values. And so when someone says, oh, my eating blueprint's ice cream and cake, great. You know what I mean? Like there's a consequence to that. If that was true, I'm not judging it. You know what I mean? Like, again, I'm just trying to be clear. If you do that, you get this outcome. You do this, you get this outcome. I don't give a shit which outcome you want. It's not up to me. It's your life, so great. And just, I like hearing that you love what you eat and maintaining. Yeah, of course you do. Right. Cause you never hear that message. The message you're always getting from dieting, and it's intentional, is that you're always getting, if you want to lose weight, you got to hate what you're eating. You got to be miserable. You got to feel deprived. You got to give up your favorite foods. That's bullshit. It's bullshit. T-Wit, why does the scale not move, but clothes are fitting nicer? Yeah. I mean, listen, I always say this: weight loss is inconsistent, unpredictable in the short term. It really is. And so you can't, this is why dieters, you're so fixated on the scale, and that's screwing you up more than anything. You really have to initially focus on the behaviors, because the behaviors are black and white. You either ate well or you didn't, so start focusing on what you're doing, knowing that if I change these behaviors consistently, I know the weight's going to end up where it goes, wherever it shows up. I say this every day that, if you study any weight loss studies at all, where they put people in metabolic labs, a group of people, and they track every calorie in and out, you notice that after however long they keep them in there, a week, month, 2 months, 3 months, people lose dramatically different amounts of weight. So that is partly genetics and just there's different factors for it. But, who knows? Maybe you're a slow weight loss person. Right? Maybe just lose weight slowly. Well, tough shit. I mean, what do you want? Yeah, I know you want it to be fast, but it's not. So what? So you're just going to quit? You're just going to give up? That's your choice, So I don't know why the scale doesn't move faster for everyone right away, but it doesn't. But it will. If you reduce your calorie consumption for a long period of time, your weight's going to go down. Fucking yes, it is. And by the way, I say this every day because I'm so tired of this. I've had to deal with this shit for 20 years. It's enough to traumatize a person. It's like, I can't tell me fucking arguments I gotten in with people. Oh, Jim, you don't fucking know. Let's see you. You're not a menopausal woman. Yeah, you can cut calories and lose weight. I can't. I got diabetes. I'm insulin resistant. I'm menopausal. Jim, fuck you. It's like, well, what do you think the weight loss medicines are doing? Huh? What do you think they're doing? They're not boosting up your metabolism magically. They're just making you less hungry so you eat less. And then what happens when you eat less? So, again, there's something, and I'm not blaming you. I know that's like, it's easier to believe like, oh, my body's broken no matter what I do, I can't lose weight. It's easier to believe that than to believe, oh, it's because I'm consuming too much calories, but it is what it is. But yeah, just give it some time, T-Wit. Okay. Just relax. The Johnny D Show. Good, better, best. Yes, absolutely. Rock, I gotta love the dude selling eating disorders. Is that me? Am I selling eating disorders? That's funny. I was just saying, I haven't gotten like a lot of dipshits on here in a while, but I don't mind getting them. I don't mind it because I like because now I'm restricted, so I can say what I want. But I will tell you that the fucking clowns that get on my page and say I'm doing eating disorder stuff, I just wish I could reach through the screen and slap them. We live in a country where 72% of the population is overweight or obese. And if I talk about how to eat better so that you can lose weight, and anyone says it's an eating disorder, are you fucking nuts? Are you nuts? You know what I mean? Like, it's literally weight-related issues and smoking are neck and neck for the number one cause of preventable death. And so if I talk about how to eat healthier and drop weight, morons. Yeah, exposure therapy. Yeah, you like that, Andrew, right? It feels better. I eat meat, vegetables, potatoes, and stuff like that. Sometimes fruit, but rarely because of the sugar. Oh, the sugar and fruit. So funny. Yeah, well, you're eating too many You're eating too many meat, vegetables, and potatoes. You just, again, Athena, it's important because it's a licensing effect that once we think we're doing something so good, we tend to lose sight of some of the things we're not doing so good. And this is very common. I see this all the time. People that go vegetarian, clean up their eating. I can't tell you the number of times I hear, Jim, I don't know. I cleaned everything up. I don't eat any gluten anymore. I don't eat any carbs anymore. I don't eat this. And I'm not losing weight. I fast for 16 hours. It's because when you are eating, you're consuming too many calories. Ta-da. But what happens is when we do something really good, we get fixated on that piece and the calorie piece sneaks in. And so I guarantee you, Athena, great job on changing your diet to being a healthier one, but now you got to reduce the calories a bit. All right. If you want to lose weight. Gene says, think you're great. Learn something every time I listen to you. Thank you, Gene. I appreciate that. Vicky says down to 110.5, miss the lives. I know I missed you a couple times, Vicky. I'll give you an extra week there. I'll pop in there. Living as a thin, healthy person, lifestyle, 80-20, my efforts and your reinforcement. Nice. Good job. Nice. Eating the sand. Yeah, I had the extreme of starvation and overeating until I listened to PYT training now and feeling the equilibrium. Yeah, it's super. Yeah, that was awesome. I'm glad I got to meet you, and I'm glad that you got to go through that blueprint training, right? Because it's just a complete paradigm shift. It's a totally different way to approach that. Julie says, I tracked everything on Weight Watchers for 2 years and lost 85 pounds, thinking about food all day. Thought I was beating the system by still eating crap and cutting out healthier foods, gain the weight back. Yeah, that's great. But again, Julie, I say this to you all the time, especially is I love people in my program that have gone through that. They've done a lot of diets, they've lost weight, they put it back on, because you go to my program and then you get to use all of the experience you've had and use the wisdom from it. You know what I mean? And build on the wisdom. You've got so much knowledge. And once you take control of it and stop trying to follow someone's dumb system, and you start creating your own system based on your own experiences and wisdom, that's how you create a customized system. So wonderful, Julie. Again, it's the awareness of that, what a difference that makes. So that's super. Yeah, Vicky says, I need to optimize the blueprints. That's exactly it. And that's why we have the blueprints, because the blueprints, most people, they've got no eating blueprint. They've got a diet they try and follow, but the eating blueprints are customized for you. You make them yourself and follow them. And it's like, the point of it is you're going to get emotional at some point. You're going to step on the scale. It's not going to be enough weight loss. You may put a little weight on. Something's going to trigger you. And at that point, if you don't have a blueprint on paper or on screen, you get irrational and crazy. So the beauty here is that when we get emotional, we can look at the blueprints and it brings us back into being logical and strategic. And we can look at it and say, okay, because you can't lose weight, folks. You can't manage your weight. It's impossible to lose weight. It's impossible to manage your weight. All you can do, you can eat different, live different. You can manage your eating, and it magically turns into a weight you want. But there's no such thing as losing weight. So that's why the eating blueprint, it's like, that's your weight is a reflection of your eating. And so when you get emotional about your weight, you can go back to the blueprint and say, okay, let me see what I've been doing, and you can be strategic with it. Yeah. Ellen says, drink Zevia. Zevia, do you mean stevia? 0 calories, none of the bad stuff? Or Zevia is something new? Yeah. Yeah. Vicky says, yeah, we're variable hormonally and caloric intake. Absolutely. 1008 JK, you're the real deal. Thanks. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, he says, going through the training a second time, finally found someone giving it to me straight. I agree. I don't know the most about nutrition. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a dietitian, but what I have done for 20 years professionally is I've helped regular people master their weight. So I live in the world of practical. And I think most of the weight loss industry is so fucking, it drives me crazy, because what they're doing is they're just giving you the perfect plan. I can write down the perfect plan on paper and give it to you, just do this and you'll lose weight. But it's like, you're not going to do that. You can't do that. That's the problem with the diet industry. They're telling you what to do. They never show you how to get yourself to do it. And so I live in the world of helping you to get yourself to do it. And I think that takes practical solutions to make that happen. Yeah, Athena says, it's not my ideal. Even doctors say I need to lose weight. Yeah, Athena. Yeah, and Carrie says sometimes we aren't eating enough. No, that's not true. That starvation mode thing. Again, I don't know. If you believe in that, go look up, Google pictures of famines, and you go look at pictures of famine situations and go look for the overweight person. Not to be crude, I'm restricted down here. I can say whatever I want, but it's just like the starvation mode thing. Don't get me wrong. There is such a thing as a broken metabolism, but it is such an outlier condition. And so at the end of here, I can almost guarantee you that the reason you're 40 pounds heavier than you want to be, and then if your doctor thinks you should be, it's because you're consuming too many calories. And yes, you're eating healthy food, but you're eating too much healthy food, and so you have to go to the drawing board, and you're eating, meat, potatoes, you might be eating, and I don't know how you're preparing them. You know what I mean? So again, I've been doing this too long to know that we can trick ourselves. So much of the work we do, I'm honest, this isn't just you, Athena, it's literally all of us. So much of the work we need to do to get from where we're at to where we want to be, really in any area of our life, but certainly with weight, is recognizing our own bullshit and resolving it. And so again, I can't tell you. That's why I don't know what your situation is enough to really speak to it, but I know enough that when I hear people that are, 40 pounds heavier and they want to lose weight, but they're not losing the weight and they eat clean, they're eating clean-ish, but they're eating too much, and what happens again is that licensing effect, and you're flummoxed because you're like, I don't understand, I'm eating clean. Yeah, but eating clean is now it's dictating your calories. You're not dictating your weight. It's the calories you're consuming, Now you're in a good spot because you're a huge step ahead. You're eating clean, but now you got to focus on the calorie piece of it, So I missed your answer about tips for negative reactions on scale results. What do you think about vegan protein powder? I don't even know what a vegan protein powder is. I don't like any powders. I like natural whole foods because I think of food as a food matrix. I don't think of like food. It says like what the sum of the whole. What's that shit? What's the sum of the parts are greater than the whole? I always mess that saying up, but you know what I mean, right? That it's not just the individual things in the food; it's the way they're all put together. And so I don't want protein powders. I want to eat protein, and if I'm a vegan, I'm eating a lot of beans. To do that. And I want to eat the beans because beans react differently than protein powders. So that's kind of my initial thought. Now, that being said, if you're moving from a really processed, ultra processed, shitty food diet, maybe vegan protein powder is probably a better thing. So again, everything's relative, but as an absolute, that's not something I want to be eating. I like eating whole natural foods that I can look at it and understand what it is, where it came from, why do you think people can't stick to healthy eating? Oh, that one's easy. I think people can't stick to healthy eating. There's two big reasons, and they kind of are connected. The big picture is that the reason people can't stick with healthy eating is that behavior change is difficult. Changing your behaviors is challenging, and you've never learned how to change your behaviors. So that's the first step. You know what I mean? Like I have been obsessed with behavior change for 30 years, and it's still challenging me for me to change my behaviors. So it's difficult to change behaviors. We do what we did. We're wired to, like, once we do something, we just want to keep doing it. We don't want to change it. So changing anything, it's like, again, I'll say like, I'll skip that story, but why can't stick to healthy eating? Because it's new, you know what I mean? And it takes practice and effort, and you don't think about it this way. Changing your eating habits is kind of like learning to play a musical instrument. Or let me frame it a different way. Changing your eating habits is kind of like learning how to write with the other hand. You could everything about writing, so you don't need to learn any more information, but to actually be able to write with the other hand, you would need to practice it. And it's kind of slow and tedious. And so changing your eating habits is no different than that, because what you're doing neurologically is you're creating new neural pathways, new neural networks, and that takes energy, and your brain just wants to conserve energy. It's the main organizing principle of your brain. So your brain doesn't want to learn to do new things. It wants to keep doing what it's known, And on top of that, hyper palatable foods is super addictive. You know what I mean? So there's all those components too. But at the core, it's behavioral change. And most humans have no idea how to change their behaviors. Your eating issues have less to do with the taste of the food and a lot more to do with the fact that you have no idea how your brain works in terms of behaviors. You don't know your conscious, subconscious mind. And so what you try to do to change your behaviors is you do the dumbest shit ever, which is you say, okay, I'm going to completely change my eating starting tomorrow. And so you micromanage, you force yourself to eat this, you think about it. And what happens is you wear yourself out and you go back in your automated behaviors. So it's a shitty strategy. I always say metaphorically, it's like if you want to learn to play the piano you never played before, but you want to get good really quick. So you say, okay, I'm going to play 10 hours a day. Okay, sounds great on paper, but after you finish the first day and you wake up the next day, your fingers are cramped up and you hate the piano. Now, how's that plan? And that's basically what you're doing to yourself as a dieter, is you're just drastically overwhelming yourself by trying to change everything all at once. And so it's a silly strategy. So that's a huge part of why why it's difficult to stick to it. And then just buffeted by the idea that it is challenging. It's hard to change behavior. So that's why you need to have a strategic approach and a strategic plan to do it, you know? Should I start counting them? Oh, see, there you go, Athena. Congratulations. I'm really happy for you. This is a big day for you. Because Athena goes, should I start counting the calories? I thought healthy foods don't matter in terms of calories. Okay. This is Athena, you're well on your way now. You know, this is just like Jonathan. Jonathan, I know I bring this up every day, but I got it. Okay. It's just, again, take this as it comes from a place of love. But we can't, this is what I'm trying to say, that so much of this process of mastering your weight is becoming aware of things you're unaware of. You know, I'm going to say it again. I don't know why I can't remember this quote, but I'll say it to you. It's the Mark Twain quote, right? Listen to this one. He goes, what gets us into trouble is not what we don't know. It's what we know for sure that just ain't so. And that is so much of change in general, and absolutely with the weight. Okay. So what we want to do is, when we're not getting the results we want to be able to look at it honestly. And a lot of times we can't do that. That's the licensing effect, Athena. That's literally what I was just talking about. And the licensing effect is like, I'm eating healthy. I don't understand, you know, and it blinds us to the most obvious thing, that it's like, there's too many calories. And so, yeah, now that you know that though, now you're well on your way, because you've clearly got the ability to make changes in your behavior. So congratulations. That's one of the hardest things to do. You've already done that. So now the process becomes, okay, let me start paying attention to the calories. You might have to track calories for a week or something, just get a ballpark where you're at. Or you could just look at your eating and say, okay, what's got the most calories? And let me start working on that, you know? But now you're in the game, Athena. Congratulations. You weren't in the game before because you just literally didn't even see that. So great job. Tropical P says, thank you for sharing your time with us and for sharing your knowledge. We appreciate you, Jim. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. That's why I do it. So I like to hear people appreciate this. Queen Victoria says, I agree with Gene. I learn something every time I listen to you. Well, thank you. That's my point. I try to get out here and, you know, reinforce the good stuff and teach you new stuff, because I know you're all too good and smart and successful and awesome to be struggling with your weight. And I know that the reason you're struggling is not because of your willpower. It's not because of your food addictions. It's because you've never learned how to do this properly. I know that for a fact, because I work with smart, intelligent people all the time, you know? And so, anyways, happy to help you all out. And by the way, if you're not in my world, please go to my bio, click the link, get the hypnosis session I give you. It's free. Watch the video I made for you. It's free. Okay. Read the emails I send you. They're free. I give you all sorts of free shit, and I got more stuff coming. Athena said, should I only eat once a day? How did you do it? I'm desperate. Oh, no. Oh, Athena, please. Athena, you've got to go to my bio and click the link. Okay. You need this, because you're the exact type of person I'm talking about. You're the type of person that can transform their eating into eating healthy food, but you just don't know. You don't know. Desperate people don't know. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not blaming you, but that's the situation. The diet industry doesn't give you the right information. And so you get desperate and you just start doing crazy shit. You get to relax, because you can't think straight when you're desperate. You can't think straight when you're stressed out and freaking out. Calm down. That's why I want you to really listen to the hypnosis session. It's 10 minutes, you know, but I think that'll calm you down. And no, don't eat once a day. Don't do that goddamn once a day thing. How do you advise people on their ideal calorie intake? That's a good question. I do it a little different than what you typically hear, but I'm a bigger fan of, you don't even know what your ideal calorie intake is, and no one does. You can go to the most famous nutritionist, dietitian in the world, and they don't know your ideal calorie intake. Nope, they don't, because everybody's different. So what most people do when they go on a diet, you got your average calorie consumption and your weights here. And you go on a diet and you drastically cut calories by 50, 60, 70%. So you start losing weight quickly, with then the imaginary, you know, strategy of, I want to bring it up to maintenance and live there at my goal weight forever. That works 5% of the time. So what I say, program yourself then, your average calorie consumption, your average weight right here. Let's slowly reduce your calorie consumption. Let your weight come down until you get to your goal weight. And then you have figured out your ideal calorie consumption based on your own body and who you are. Are we all created equal? Absolutely not. We're all different. We all have different strengths, weaknesses, challenges, strengths, all this stuff. So everyone's different. This is why in Program Yourself Then, you get the weight mastery blueprints, right? The weight mastery pyramid is mindset, lifestyle, eating, and you get blueprints that you fill out that are customized to you. Again, another real issue I have with the weight loss industry is they're always pushing out this one size fits all strategy plan. No way. You know what I mean? You're a unique little snowflake, beautiful, one of a kind being. And what's going to work for you, the goal is really to create a one size fits one plan, one size for you. That's all that matters. So yeah, we're all different. Yeah. Oops. Yeah. So Athena says, yeah, Jonathan asked, because now Jonathan knows, right? Jonathan goes, how do you cook your food to Athena? He said, does that matter? Does that matter? Right. So again, I'm going to say this now, Jonathan. I was going to let it go, but Jonathan was here not but a week ago. And he goes, I overeat. I even overeat healthy food. I said, what are the healthy foods? He goes, chicken. I said, what kind of chicken? Fried chicken with lots of sauces. So again, I just say this, that we all live in our own bubble of ignorance. It's not a big deal. We all do, all of us. And when you're not getting the results you want in certain areas of your life, you have to assume the bubble of ignorance around you is the main problem. So you have to get perspective on it. A lot of the things you believe aren't accurate. And if you don't realize which things are not accurate, you're going to be lost in the sauce. You don't know. I'll do everything right. You start saying, no matter what I do, I can't lose weight. That's not true. That's not true. So again, Athena, this could be an enormous day for you, because all of a sudden, it's like you got a pair of glasses first time. Now you can see the world clearly. Okay. Now you're going to see things clearly. Yes. How you cook things absolutely matters. Oil and sauces are typically the most calorie dense foods on the planet. So yeah, that's going to be probably an issue. Yeah. Athena says, I'm so thankful I came across your live. I've been miserable for years, confused why I'm overweight. Oh my God. I'm going to screenshot this because Athena, I'll tell you what, you and Jonathan have really, sometimes I got caught in the weeds with all this stuff. I'm working with my clients and it's like, this is what most people are walking around and thinking they know what to do. This is what I'm trying to say. These are like the perfect examples of this. You're walking around thinking you know what to do and you're completely wrong. You're running east looking for a sunset and don't understand why, and it's just, so again, I'm so happy for you, Athena, because once you can see things clearly, now you can use that big old brain of yours that you use to clean up your eating to fix your weight. So up until this point, it's had nothing to do with your motivation, your willpower, your ability to change, and had everything to do with how you thought about food. And so congratulations, you've graduated to another level, and I'm excited for you. All right. And if you watch the training I gave you, it's 20 minutes, but if you think this is something, you know what I mean? Like that'll knock your socks off. Jonathan says, should I cook without oils? I'm scared now. I don't think you need to cook without oils. I mean, you moderate them, just understand it's, again, look up calorie density, but oil is literally the most calorie dense, so we don't want to use a lot of oil. We use as little as possible, but you can still use it. I use olive oil, but I use it sparingly, And again, they do add so much flavor, but Jonathan, you have to understand that part of your process is cleaning up your taste buds. The flavor of oil is, I'm not saying gross as disgusting. It's gross as in it's this big, you have to have this big giant thing on you because your taste buds need big giant thing. It's like you're deaf a little bit, right? It's like if you're deaf, you need the music really loud to be able to hear it. But the good news here is that your tongue's deaf, right? But you can start to calibrate your diet in a different way to reverse it. And you can make so your tongue hears better, metaphorically. That makes sense. I saw Vicky say, missed your thoughts on non-meat substitutes. My thoughts are real simple. I don't like substitutes. I don't like heavily processed things. It's really not about a meat vegetable thing. I don't like eating tofu. I like tofu, but I don't like there's tofu substitutes. There's, the meat replacements. I'm not a big fan of that stuff. It's unnatural. I don't know what my body's going to do with eating this much mycelium. What the fuck? We never eat mycelium ever in our history. Oh no, Jim, it's fine. Scientists said, thanks, but no thanks. I'm going to stick with real food. So that's kind of my catch-all answer to that. Jonathan says, you talk about my embarrassing story in every live. It's not embarrassing. Don't be embarrassed by that. That's what I'm saying. Don't be embarrassed when you're wrong and you get to learn something. You look for lots of those, because it's you becoming more enlightened. You know what I mean? It's you becoming less ignorant. And that's a wonderful thing. And an important part of the process, because that's really the process. It's clarifying what you think and know. I always say this, if you took my brain and put it in any overweight person's body, we're going to start losing weight immediately. Like I know weight mastery to the granular details, and that's why I try and share with you. But I got there because of all the mistaken beliefs and ideas I had. I've worked through them, Athena said, how fast did you manage to lose the weight, Jim? Don't worry how fast. Don't worry about that. Okay. It's for how long, right? And you're already in a good spot. I think, Athena, you've been walking around with blinders on. I think now that you see this, I think could potentially be an enormous change for you. Also my favorite meat is ribs. And I guess they have a lot of oil too. Oh yeah. Ribs. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're lucky, Athena. And this is what I mean. Again, this is that. I mean, I can't give a better description of the licensing effect, that you're eating clean foods. And so, that was the catch-all. You're like, oh, I'm doing that, so I don't understand why I'm not losing weight, but that focus on cleaning up your eating that became everything. And so you couldn't see that it was a calorie issue. So again, that's just such a great example of this. Parson says, do you recommend snacking between meals? I think snacking between meals is fine in the beginning. I think ideally now, again, this is up to you. So I'm just saying this is a best practice, but it's up to you. So it's interesting that, snacking between meals is fine, but I want to get, and where I'm at now is most of the time I'm eating breakfast, lunch, dinner on my clean days. And on my pleasure days, I'm eating breakfast and dinner. And there's not a lot of snacking going on in there. If there is snacking, I pretty much do my best to keep it to fruits, sugar and all. And so, yeah, but again, but I have some clients and they have 6 meals a day. You know what I mean? So again, it's really is honoring yourself and seeing what works best for you. But I don't like snacking. I like give my body a break, and that forces me to really focus on the nourishment I'm getting at those meals. So it carries me over to the next meal. So Athena says, I also work out every day. And so people always tell me they're shocked I'm not fit. Yeah, I started believing there's something seriously wrong with me. I get this, Athena. You're not alone. This is pretty much everyone. And you're designed it's ridiculous. So you got a double whammy of licensing effect anyways, by the way. You got the clean eating you did, and then you're working out every day. So what happens in your head is you start really reinforcing the belief, no matter what I do, I can't lose weight. And today's a magical day for you because now you get to say, oh, well, it's because of the calories. I'm consuming too many calories. You can overconsume clean calories. Absolutely. So congratulations, Athena. I think it's a big day for you, and it'll be even bigger if you go and sign up. Go to my bio and get that thing today. It'll be even bigger. Julie says, I'd love to do a live coaching session. Missed last one during the workday. All right, Julie, shoot me an email and I'll get you another week to it. Yeah, Issa says unlocking levels. Yes, absolutely unlocking levels. That's the way to think about it. I say this all the time too. Like the path of weight mastery is like the path of climbing Mount Everest. It's not a straight line, right? When you climb Mount Everest, you have to climb to a base camp, acclimate, go to the next base camp, acclimate. It's a process. And that's what weight mastery is really like. And it is levels. Some of them are physical, some are mental, some are emotional. That's how it goes though. Vicky says, hard to believe you ate a bunch of donuts, but proves your humanity and value of PYT and 80/20 on Father's Day. Yeah, I ate a bunch of donuts this week. And yeah, I told that story. And I share this stuff to you because I want you to understand more than anything that you do not need to be perfect to control your weight. That is one of the core sabotaging beliefs that the diet industry has put into you. And, if you think you need to be perfect, if you think you need to be perfect with your eating to lose weight, you're just not going to lose weight because you can't be perfect. So I share my donut eating. And when I ate like 7 donuts this week in 2 days. My wife got a bunch of donuts. It's a funny story. I'll spare it to you for now. But long story short is that all these donuts and I ate a bunch of them. And then I get right back on track, And so this week has not been, that's why I try to tell you, I got clean and pleasure days. So in your head, you're like, okay, he eats perfectly on those days and eats, whatever on those days. No, my intention is to eat 100% clean on those days. I almost never eat 100% clean on those days. But I'm usually in the 80 to 90% clean, usually. And I'm consistent with it every single week. And even if I ate a bunch of donuts, I'm still eating clean. That's the difference, So I share that with you just so you realize I'm not some perfect. I don't want to be like these fucking influencers all around who are just always perfect. You've got to stop that shit. You're not going to be perfect. David Goggins, oh my God, run yourself to the fucking moon. That attitude I hate so much. He seems like a great guy. I'm not judging him, but that attitude, fuck. It's like, I can't stand it because it's not real for the vast majority of people. People that are like David Goggins, great. You're probably not like him. He's an outlier. Stop basing your strategies on outliers. And that's what you've been trained to do when it comes to the weight loss. Is that you're always looking at these people that are cut up, ripped up. Their whole life is exercise and nutrition. You need to follow someone who's the whole, I mean, in a way, I mean, my life is that way, but it's in a much more manageable way. It's not perfect. We know how to absorb mistakes. You know what I mean? It's real, I would say. And I think that's an important piece of it. You know, what's up, Deanna? Oh man, I feel what Athena is saying. This is me working out and eating cleaner, but licensing effect happening. Healthy can still be too many calories, right? And it's just the licensing effect. I always say this. It is one of the most, it's so interesting. I'm fascinated by the licensing effect. I know about it, and I can, I'm so fascinated by it because I'll experience it sometimes in real time. I'm like, what the fuck? Like my whole brain shifts. And it's like, part of me is like, Jim, it's the licensing effects on the license, but it's like, I'm still in it. It's so weird. So that's one of those fascinating psychological things. But once you realize it, then you can work with it. You know what I mean? But again, it's when we don't realize it. That's why I always say awareness precedes change. And dieters don't believe that. Dieters, I know what I'm going to do. I just got to get myself to do it. I'm like, this is the dumbest shit anyone ever said. The dumbest shit. And so you don't know what to do. You know, you do what you know. You know, and so if you're overweight, it's because you know how to be overweight. If you knew how to be thin and healthy, don't you think you would do it? You know, I know how to do it, and I'm thin and healthy. Anyways. Yeah. Dean says, but shouldn't I be burning calories while working out? So after working out, I can eat more to maintain. I hear that online. Athena, you and Jonathan, I think, would be good friends. I'm teasing. I'm joking. I'm just joking. This is, again, I'm so thankful for you two saying the quiet part out loud, because I know a lot of people are thinking this. And Athena, I mean, I'm so excited for you because you are like, I can't say 100%, but the vast majority of your problem is that you're just thinking completely wrong. And it's not a surprise, because the shit you're saying is all this stuff that the diet industry places there, and it slowly seeps into our brains. That's the licensing effect in its most classic form. Is someone will work out and burn 200 calories, but they think they burn 500 calories. And so then they go eat a muffin that they think is 200 calories, but really the muffin's 500 calories, right? That's the classic licensing effect, but it happens in all sorts of ways. Is that we do something good, moral, or virtuous, and we end up following it up by doing something not good, moral, and virtuous. And there's a number of reasons why that happens, but yeah. But now that you can see it, you know, you can recognize it. I would take, your exercising is good for a lot of reasons, not for weight loss. I like to say your eating controls your weight, your exercising controls your shape. But it's the food in your mouth that's controlling your weight, you know? So that's that. Do you burn more calories? Yeah, you burn more calories, but then if you eat, you nullify that, you know, and you're never going to burn more calories than you are eating. You can eat 500 calories in 2 minutes. It'd take you an hour to burn those. It's not a good mathematical equation. So, Jonathan's eating what you burned is not going to give any progress. Yeah, right, exactly. And eating more than you burned isn't going to give you. That's the worst thing too, right? I see that happen all the time. You know where I see this too is intermittent fasters, right? So they're like, oh, I didn't eat for 16 hours. Well, yeah, but what'd you eat for the 8 hours? And I find a lot of times now, again, I have a biased thing with the intermittent fasting as a dieter, is that it almost becomes a binge training regimen. And so people won't eat for 16 hours, and they're so hungry that then they binge for the 8 hours, and they can't understand, how am I gaining weight? You know, because you're eating more calories. You know, that's how that works. Wasabi says, what would happen if I did 20,000 steps every single day? Well, it depends where you're starting. If you're starting from, you average 2,000 steps, you'll do 20,000 steps every single day for maybe 5-6 days. And then you'll do no steps again. So that's probably what would happen if you did 20,000 steps every single day. Paula says, I say I am not a fat girl, but just living like one. Oh, there you go. Right. I think at least that clarifies it. You know, I think that's a good distinction. It's always our behaviors, folks. You know, it's always the behaviors. Yeah, Vicky says all or something. Yep. All or something. That's the mantra. That probably one of the biggest program yourself thin mantras, be all or something, you know, biggest thing. That's how I can eat a bunch of donuts. And I get, and even like Sunday, I just ate a bunch of donuts, and I eat that day. What did I eat that day? I can't eat a lot, but the donuts were definitely the outliers there. But then Monday, the donuts were still there, because my wife's crazy. I swear this a woman bought like 40 donuts. That was just the funniest thing. It was just a funny story. But so, you know, now Monday comes, I got the sugar flowing through my veins. These donuts are there. I'm not going to waste them. They're for Father's Day. You know, she's doing it out of a loving, good place, you know, so I eat them. But even that day I ate more donuts, but then I ate my salad. Do you know what I mean? Like and I know that sounds so crazy as a dieter, because you're so all or nothing, but all or something is the way, and yeah. Yeah, Deanna says if we were all David Goggins, we wouldn't be here, right? Love you for keeping it simple and honest for the rest of us. Yeah, me included, because I've tried that shit. I've tried that method, and it's like I can do it for a couple days, a couple weeks, maybe even a couple months, a couple times, but it's not sustainable for me. When I've done P90X, I've done Insanity, I've done that type of shit, and my body just breaks down, and so it's like it doesn't work for me. So I have to figure out what works for me. And luckily, I'm able to share this with you because that's probably what'll work for most of us, because most of us are not like him. He's an outlier. You know what I mean? It's such a bad idea to follow outliers. It's one of the worst things. And that's exclusively what social media. Like, I love fitness trainers are fine, but you ain't a fitness trainer. Come on. You know what I mean? These people like love exercising. I don't like exercising. I don't like it. I'm as lazy as it comes when it comes to exercising. So I was like, oh, I better focus on the food piece. So again, I'm speaking to the majority of people, I think, because I think most people don't love exercising. Let's be honest. He says, I thought it was all about the grind. Now I get it. I couldn't even see that I was in that David Goggins mindset. Now it's like I love workout, not because of weight, but as a euphoric effect. Yeah, I think that's perfect. That's just another classic thing too. It's like, why are we doing what we're doing? And you'll see that even in the program yourself in, as much as I can, I'm trying to encourage you to make this process not about weight loss, but about becoming the best version of yourself possible. I always say, taking weight loss and wrap it in personal development, make this about being the best you can be. That's a way bigger motivator. It's way bigger than just the number on a scale, but the beauty is when you focus on being the best version of you, the weight's part of that, so it's included in that goal. But yeah, that's a big point. He said, that's a huge distinction. Jonathan said, Jim, I'd like to think I have changed. I'm not that dumb anymore. You're still that dumb, Jonathan. Don't take that the wrong way. I'm still that dumb. I mean, I get tricked by food constantly. It's a world of carnival games. I don't know if you have carnival games out there in Australia, but I'm a sucker for these things. You know what I mean? I get tricked by them all the time. And because they're really tricky. You know what I mean? Like, we live in an environment that is extremely tricky. So I would not be like, oh, I figured it all out. Now I see all clearly, because I don't do that. I'm constantly on guard that I'm being tricked, that I'm not seeing things correct. I'm always looking for that. That's the inward focus of like, what am I thinking that just ain't so? I'm always looking for that, because those are the things that have kind of propelled me the furthest, the biggest. So don't even worry about that. You're changing, but you're still always changing. Athena said, I'm so embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed, Athena. Again, embarrassment is an emotion that makes us overeat. Feel excited. You know what I mean? That you're seeing things clearly for the first time, because now you have a real chance. You had no chance in hell. You weren't seeing a lot of things. Now you are. And so you're very, very fortunate. You're very lucky you came across my account. So you better follow me too. I don't know if you know how TikTok works, but you should follow me. I put videos up all the time, and everyone, they might pop up. Wasabi, what's the best way to lose weight easily? Because I'm really struggling. Well, you're not going to like my answer, Wasabi, but the best way to lose weight easily is to lose it slowly and strategically, because I think what's the best way to lose weight quickly might have been what you were thinking. But because if you're talking about, now I can say this, if you're looking for I always like want to say this, but I can't say it anymore because I know TikTok will ban me, but I know they already restricted me. The fastest way to lose weight is to just stop eating. Don't eat, don't drink any water, take laxatives, exercise as much as you can. That's the fastest way possible to lose weight, but it's also the shortest lasting way to lose weight. So again, we have to make the distinction between what's your goal. Is it to lose weight as quick as possible, or to get your goal weight and to live the rest of your life at your goal weight for as long as possible, which is the goal, because they're two completely different strategies to achieve each of those goals. They're two completely different things. So you need to get crystal clear on what your goal is first. And then the next thing I would say is go to my bio, click the link, get the hypnosis session, and watch the video. All right. Dan says, I love exercising, but now that I know it doesn't even help my weight loss, it makes me less motivated. Also, do you believe it's harder for women to lose it? I'm very short too. Yeah, I do think that I think it's easier for men to lose weight. I think so. I think so. But I should say it's quicker. I mean, I think it's quicker. I think men lose weight quicker, it seems. But at the end of the day, it's the same story, right? You got to change your mindset, And I think so. I love exercise, but now it doesn't even help my weight loss. It makes me less motivated. That's fine. As long as you take all that energy you put into exercise, you put that into regulating your food and moderating your food, you'll get the weight results you want. And then if you want to exercise for whatever reasons you want to do it. But that energy, weight wise, that energy would be way better spent on changing your eating, you know? Yeah. He just said, Athena, you're so lucky. Wish someone woke me up from this trance earlier. Yeah. You really are lucky, Athena. I'm telling you, like you're very lucky. Because there's not too many people that would have woken you up from this shit. You know, to be honest, I'm very, very happy that we got to go through this. This was fun. This was almost like, I don't know, this is a session in real time. You got to see this, you know, but it's the same for all of you. I'm telling you, whatever you're struggling with your weight, it may not be this exact stuff, but it's something. And the people in my coaching program know this because you see me do this all day long with each and every person. They come to it feeling like they know exactly what the problem is and they're stuck and they don't know what to do. And it turns out it's a completely different problem, you know, and it's the same thing over and over and over and over again, you know? So, and being short's a challenge too, to some degree. Absolutely. It is and it isn't. It's a psychological challenge more than anything else, I believe. But Jonathan, did you check out Colleen, the intuitive eater? No, I didn't. Cause I wrote down Colleen and then I remember I didn't write her last name down. So I was like, I'm not going to do search Colleen intuitive eating. Maybe that would come up, but what's her last name? I kind of forget what it was, but I will look her up because I want to see that. Ms. Raven says, hi, how long have you been on? I've been on for 90 minutes. I literally just got the TikTok message. Of course, I've been restricted this whole time, so only the Christensen. That's why I thought it was see something. Yeah, I'll check that out. Because again, I take from everyone, I follow the Bruce Lee philosophy of Jeet Kune Do, which is his own martial art that he created, which is the idea that you study everything, take what works, discard the rest. So again, I don't have any problem learning from anyone, whether I agree with them completely or not. You know what I mean? Yeah. Jonathan says, thanks. I wish I could eat intuitively. I mean, you could, Jonathan, if you put the energy and time into retraining your intuitions, and that's how you think about it, right? So it's like, let's just say, I mean, I don't know what you do, but you can use anything you want as an example, but say you want to be a good guitar player. It's like, oh, I wish I had the intuitions to play guitar really well. No one has the intuitions to play guitar really well. You practice a lot and you develop those intuitions from the practice, And so it's the same thing here. No, Mario, I'm glad you said it. I have her name written down here too. And it's funny because I almost did that yesterday. I was almost like, I'm going to search though. And then I realized, I have Colleen, and then I just forgot the whole thing. Then I was busy looking up Post-it notes. And then turned out that Amazon didn't even have the Post-it notes I wanted. So I'm like, oh, shit, I got to remember this. But anyways, yeah, I want to check them out. As Raven says, oh, wow, it's 90 minutes, a long time to talk about weight. But what you don't know is this is what I do all day, every day. All I do is talk about weight. But I love it. I'm obsessed with it. And it's fun to me. I think it's, I always joke, when I was a kid, I always thought, I was like, oh, I want to be a doctor. I want to help people be healthier and stuff. But then I took my first chemistry class and I was like, oh, guess I won't be doing that. I'm not good at chemistry. And so anyways, I kind of found a roundabout way to kind of do something that I think is actually even more helpful and impactful. So that's kind of cool anyways, but yeah, every day. So anyways, folks, I'm here every day, Monday through Friday, usually around noonish. So come check me out. You're out of the BJ's now. Yeah, I know. I get the little ones, right? I like the little ones. I was looking yesterday and it's like, I don't even know if they make them anymore. And this package, it comes in 4 colors. See, what's making me crazy is I know that somewhere in my office, I know I've got 3 other colors of this ready to go. Maybe I'll look for them for a few minutes. Yeah, he says, it's not even about the weight. I'm in it for the rewiring. Thank you a million, Jim. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's the rewiring. It's like we're talking about Athena here, just having all these realizations. But what I'm trying to tell you all is it's all these realizations with everything in life. It's literally everything in your life, all your relationships, your job, your ability to make money, your weight, your health, your happiness, everything in your life is run by your brain and how you think about things. And your ability to change really depends on your ability to think differently. And your ability to think differently really starts by realizing what you're thinking that's not working, So I think it's a great way to kind of think about it, What's up, Heather? Thank you. Yeah, thank you for all your great content, life-changing, my opinion. I appreciate you saying that. It's life-changing for me and my clients. I know that. And so it is a great thing to be able to get out here and just share this with everyone as well. I just love it. This is what I love doing, you know? So Raven says, what was your journey with your weight? I'll give you the real quick version. You know, like I was 50 pounds heavier 30 years ago. It was, again, I don't take credit for this because really I just feel like the universe just smiled on me at one point in my life. Literally, I took a semester out from college, a very kind of a dark period of my life, physically, mentally, emotionally. And during that time, within a month or two, I was exposed to Tony Robbins, personal development, meditation, yoga, guitar, martial arts. I don't know what else, you know, literally. And then I grabbed onto it and here we are. So that's kind of the quick version of it. What would you recommend for my breakfast? Breakfast, whole natural foods. Oatmeal's okay. Ezekiel bread's good. Fruit is good. Don't the sugar thing's a silly thing. Don't worry about the sugar. A piece of fruit is good. Fiber is really important. Fiber, whole natural foods. Beans, if you like to eat beans in the morning, some protein in the morning, non-sugared yogurt, berries. I said oatmeal. Those are some good ones. Eggs are all right. Bacon, no, I wouldn't eat bacon in the morning, but that's me. You might want to eat bacon. Bacon's got a lot of calories in it, a lot of fat. So if you want to reduce calories, that's a quick, easy way to do it. Snack on nuts. Oh, no. Those nuts, because I know you're not eating raw nuts. You're eating roasted nuts with salt and you're overeating them. Those are tons and tons of calories. Salted nuts is one of the worst things if you want to lose weight because you're pounding tremendously calorie dense food that's hard not to overeat. So get a handle on the nuts. Yeah, it's true. Get a handle on the nuts. Cause how do we determine our calories? Well, Carrie says, I take a different approach with this. And so take it or leave it. I've had arguments with nutritionists about this. But I've seen it work over and over and over again that I think the way you get a handle on the calories is cut the shit with the calories and instead look at your worst eating habit of the day, right? Like the worst eating habit you have that shows up daily or multiple times a week and start focusing on that and work on reducing, replacing, removing to reduce those calories down. So instead of being like, oh, this is my ideal calorie, no, because that's what you want to do. You want me to say your ideal, oh, you know what? Carrie says your ideal calories is 1,730 calories a day. And then you're going to bring your calories down there. You don't know. I don't know. No one knows. And so instead, let's start with right where you're at and start working on your worst eating habit and start fixing that. You're probably 2 or 3 worst eating habits away from being at your goal weight, you know? And so instead of the bullshit of like, oh, I'm going to figure out the perfect calories, I'm going to fucking live right there. No, you're not. No, you're not. Because dietitians, nutritionists, with all your studies and all your fucking degrees and bullshit, you guys don't, I work well with people, they don't create weight loss. You think me giving you this perfect plan, oh, now you're going to lose weight? Because you're not going to follow it anyways. So let's be real and let's work. You think you're going to change all, I mean, this is the dieter dementia is what we should call it. Dieter dementia. Boopity boop. All right. A new video for myself, but it's literally dieter dementia. It's just, I'm not going to get started on dieters. All I could, because I'm restricted. I can say whatever I want now. What I can't say when I can say anything I want now, but what gets me restricted is when I'm usually being sarcastic. But when I talk about cocaine, I guess that gets me restricted too. I'm not saying do cocaine either. I don't know, but I guess the algorithm just looks for certain words, I guess. Anyways, Thea says, no way I eat so many nuts every day. Yeah, Athena. I think you're gonna have an easy time now. It's so funny. Again, I'm not, don't be embarrassed, be excited because you're right where a lot of people are. You know, you think, oh, I'm doing everything. I don't understand. It's funny though. Isn't it funny how your brain went to like, there's something wrong with me? Right. It's like, that's called confirmation bias. And so it's like, we'll, you know, whatever we believe, that's kind of how we see the world. We don't see the world as it is. We see the world as we believe it is, you know, and you're in your head, Jesus Christ, I'm doing everything right. I'm eating clean. I'm going to the gym every day. How come I'm not losing weight? There must be something wrong with me. No matter what I do, I can't lose weight. But I'm so proud of you because, well, I'll tell you why you're an outlier, Athena. What makes you unique is the fact that you have the courage to say these things, and now you're going to be able to be aware of them. And again, now you can see things that yesterday you could not see. You know, I love this so much because this to me is like the best embodiment of program yourself thin in a nutshell, is that It allows you to start to see things that are right there in front of you that you just don't see. I'll give you an example. So if you close one eye and look at your nose, you see it. Close the other eye and look at your nose, you see it, right? It's right there. Big old nose, right? Open both eyes, what happens? Your brain deletes your nose. You see? So a lot of times there's challenges and solutions that are right in front of us that we just can't see. This is the big benefit of working with a coach, I will tell you. So again, for any of you that are considering joining Program Yourself, then I got opened up the group coaching again. And if you can do it financially, working with me personally for 8 weeks is one of the most life-changing experiences you'll ever have with your weight, because of exactly this thing, that there's things right in front of you, you can't see them. You're not seeing them. And once they're pointed out, you can't unsee them. That's the beauty, you know? So your problem, Athena, wasn't a willpower thing. It was a knowledge thing. It was an awareness thing, you know? So, yeah. Yeah, Carrie says, yeah, no, I love to hear that. Thank you. Nobody knows. Exactly. Only you know, and your body's one of a kind thing. So again, if you start focusing on your worst eating habit, get a handle on that, focus on your next worst eating habit, you know, that's the way I would suggest. Kim Poltoga says, I went to a dietitian and she told me for lunch, never eat the soup, just the sandwich. I still don't get that. That's a very strange thing to say. And I've heard dietitians say all sorts of weird shit. So again, I'm not an anti-dietitian. I believe in science, but I also believe there's a huge difference between being told what to do and being able to get yourself to do it. So I don't think being told what to do makes a whole lot of difference in your weight, you know? Yeah, Vicky says, I love how you relate to us as overthinkers. Yeah, right. We're all overthinkers here. It's really, to some degree, I don't say it this way, but honestly, these daily meetings are almost like a meeting of the overthinkers. And certainly the coaching group, no question. That's where the cream rises to the top. The overthinkers rise to the top, and they end up in the group coaching program. The biggest overthinkers, and for sure, which is so funny. Yeah, make us realize we're not outliers after all. We kind of are outliers, but I guess when a group of us get together, we don't feel so outlierish. But the point is that, you know, as overthinkers, that's really what Program Yourself is designed for. And I'm very clear about this. If you're not an overthinker type of person, I don't think Program Yourself then would not be for you. I don't believe. But if you're an overthinker, Program Yourself then is literally designed for you. I almost called the program Weight Loss for Smart People back in the day. And then I was like, well, I'm not the smartest person. I don't know if smart's the right word. And I was like, oh shit, overthinker. You know, so I was like, oh, I'm not going to call it Weight Loss for Overthinkers. But to be honest, that was in my mind, that's always the subtext of the program. That's the subheadline. So it's always like that. But yeah, those are the people that join the program typically. The dates. Oh yeah, you had something about the dates. What was that? Are dates better to snack on? I know there's sugar, but they're healthy. Athena, you are funny. Athena, I will tell you, your intuitions are... all your intuitions are awful. And I say that with a caring, open heart, because it's so funny, because you were talking about fruit and the sugar in them, but then you go like the sugar you're thinking about is dates, which are literally like the highest sugar fruit, you know? So it's funny the way you're thinking about stuff. So you're lucky. You're a knowledge person, I think. Yeah, watch the training a bit that I give you. I think that's going to enlighten a bit. But dates would not be the first fruit that I would choose to build around. You know, I would probably stick with lower sugar fruits. Look up glycemic index for fruits, and that'll kind of educate you a bit with that. Again, dates have a place, but it's not the main thing I'd start with probably. Maverick Mammy, I stopped drinking alcohol and stopped smoking 18 months ago, which is great, but now I'm overeating, especially the demon sugar. Yeah, very common, right? And especially with the alcohol thing. The alcohol, is sugar. And so a lot of times people with the alcohol, once they stop that, they go to the sugar. Yeah, that's a common thing. One vice becomes another. And so to some degree, and that's Program Yourself, then we deal with that stuff, was we want to deal with the core issues. And so I'm not going to just say blanket statement of why that's happening, but, you got to kind of figure out what the deeper things are, because you're probably using the alcohol, using the smoking as ways to relax, as ways to deal with your emotions, as ways to just deal with life. And now you're using the food to do that. And so we want to find genuine core ways to make that happen. And all I can tell you is go to my bio, click the link, get the hypnosis session. It's free, but watch the video I made. I think that'll give you a bit more insight into it. And you can kind of go where you want to go from there. But I think that video will give you a bit of insight why you're doing that, and hopefully help you a little bit. All right. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Gotta get out of here. This is longer than I was planning on being on here, but you guys were great today. Athena, especially you. I want to give you, I really appreciate you being on here. I think you've probably helped a lot of more people than you realize, because What's going on with you is extremely common. It's the norm. And I want you to understand that. And so I really appreciate you getting on here and letting us kind of go through that, because I think it's the same for all of us. And so I think that helps a lot of people. All right. So, yeah, thank you so much. So if you're not in my world, again, go to my bio, click the link at the hypnosis session, watch the video, read the emails. All of it's free. And listen to the podcast. Podcast is free. It's on all the major platforms. Go listen to it. We do one every day, Monday through Friday, usually around noon Eastern, if you want to get in here live and ask any questions ever. And yeah, if you really want to take the next level, you want to start with Program Yourself Thin, you can go to programyourselfthin.com. Start the program there. There's a version you can do yourself, or once you sign up there, the group coaching is back open again if you want to work with me directly. And yeah. All right, everyone, have a super duper day. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk soon. Bye.